right. So, actress, model, mother, Robin Givens.
Yeah.
You're shaking your head. You're like, yeah, all
I'm
those
like mother,
things.
yeah.
Right.
And model, I'm like, I was modeling today.
So you're in Detroit. Tell
am.
us what you're in Detroit doing.
Wow, I'm kicking off a workshop, some workshops, Acting for Life.
Okay.
And I got this bright idea that I wanted to sort of share what I know with some young people, or people. You don't have to be so young, but you know, Cicely Tyson's sort of my mom in business, and she told me, Robin, study, study, study. And I started at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I was 10, and I do believe that we've sort of moved away from that. And I wanted to bring people back to the craft of acting.
Yeah.
And I think acting is an interesting thing because you don't necessarily have to do it. Everybody thinks, oh, I want to be in pictures, oh, I want to be on the stage. But it really is a way also to learn about yourself, to conquer your fear, to work on some self-esteem and confidence, and even for adults to sort of, it's interesting with acting because you can sort of experience different things and do things you never thought you could do or would do through another character.
Sure.
You know, it sort of absolves you from everything. It wasn't you. And you get to have these
I was acting.
experiences.
Of course.
It was that character. You get to have these experiences.
Fantastic.
And I think you don't necessarily have to go on and be in movies or do those things, but you can become stronger from it and give the best of you. Really learn about yourself and give the best of yourself.
And so when you think about success at the end of your time here with the young people, what do you want to have happen? What do you want them feeling, thinking, doing?
Well, I want to have started something. You know, I really want to have started something. I think we're living in an interesting time where people, on the whole, are feeling a little unsettled. It's an unsettling time. You know, there's war going on. We're in the best country in the world, but we're in a little bit of a recession, and you know, even spiritually, I think people are, on one hand, we got some things in music. There's freedom, but people are wondering, is there too much freedom? I think in general, there's an unsettled feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm a mom, as you mentioned, of an 11-year-old and a 17-year-old, and I can see it in kids. How do I behave? Is this okay to do? What do I do? And I want to, like I said, have started something. And give somebody a little bit of peace, maybe a little bit of inspiration.
Sure.
But bring people closer to who they are.
Yeah.
And are intended to be. Yeah. And I want to leave those people feeling better.
Talk to me a little bit about that ownership that you want them to have, and when did you find it for yourself?
Wow. You know, everything's a process, I think. It's funny because I started with my mom. It's the first thing we've ever done together. We do a lot of talking. And I think you can kind of do therapy everywhere. Like, I think why pay somebody? Like you and I talking now, or girlfriends, or however guys they do it. But, you know, even if you say, when did it happen? The name of the website is The Forever Journey.
Yes.
And I think life is a forever journey. And we're constantly being perfected. And it's those experiences that we have that are, in actuality, painful ones as well as the good ones, perfecting us. But it happened for me very recently where I really started to feel like a woman. And I really started to feel like whoever I am, I'm okay.
Sure.
You know, I'm not perfect, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
And let me start now from here. Let me take off all the layers, and I don't have to be anybody else, and I don't have to be taller, which I always wanted to be, and
really?
I don't have to be anything else. This is what I got.
Yeah.
And this is me.
Yeah.
So that was pretty recent.
You know, I asked that question because as you talk about the recession and the funny kind of time that we're in, there are a lot of unemployed professionals, a lot of working professionals who don't want to be where they are.
Right.
And I wonder about that whole entrepreneurial spirit that you have to find within, that I have a voice that's industry quality, I have an ability that's industry quality, and I simply need to validate that in some way, shape, or form. In terms of entrepreneurship, I mean, you are a brand, Robin Givens. How did that happen? What does that feel like?
And I don't even think you know. You know, I think even for me, like I said, I had an idea. I had something that I believe must have come from God, because I wouldn't have had the courage to get even here, sitting in front of you, you know. But it was my ability to be quiet enough to hear something and then trusting enough to follow what I heard, that voice. And that's what I would encourage people to do. You know, even with the arts, I think, you know, I've heard people say God is in the arts. And he can move you. I mean, he really can. I think that's why people are moved when you hear people sing like we did or perform and are true. So for me, even in terms of what you were talking about in the economy and being an entrepreneur, everybody's got something to give. Everyone. So you just have to have the courage to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd like to leave the kids with too, a little bit of courage.
Final question then, when you think about what's next for Robin Givens, I mean, of course you're going to do, you know, the parts with
Right.
the young people, but you've done so much in your career.
Right.
So, you know, what's next?
Well, you know, it's
what's the
interesting for
success
me
look like?
because for a long time, you know, I look at my son who's around here somewhere, and he'll be 18 in a few months, and
Sure.
I'm so tired of hearing it. It's like, so he wants to say, hey, he's wondering whether or not he has to listen to me, and, you know,
Right.
hey, can I stay out past my curfew, you know, that kind of thing. You know, like something amazing will happen at 18, and my 11-year-old running around. But for many years now, I've been concentrating on being a mom, which has brought me such joy, and I think had a lot to do with what we were talking about, getting to a certain place in my life. But as he starts college in the fall, and slowly now I'm getting back to dealing with myself and my hopes and dreams and wants and wishes. And I took my little one, since the big one's going off, we went to California, and just to really sort of get back to concentrating on what I love doing, my first love, acting. And I did a bunch of ABC shows for Chuck, and they asked me to do that. And I did Nikita, and I did a pilot for Fox. So we'll see now, just what happens now that I'm sort of going. Okay, let's go. So it'll be interesting.
Well, you are wonderful. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
I think you are very, very skilled at what you do. I just wish the best for you.
Thank you very much. I
You're very
appreciate it.
welcome.
Thanks, nice talking to you.
Absolutely.
Okay. I did Chicago, the play, which I'd done on Broadway, and the producers asked me to come to Detroit. And my dance captain, who put me in the show, was from Detroit. So he was like, Robin, take me with you. I get to go home and work. And since then, I've been here at least a half a dozen times working. And every time I'm sort of drawn back and I meet people that I love, love, love. And this trip, I came with nothing, like a backpack, for myself and my children, like no clothes, nothing. And I had this wonderful man sort of say, you don't need anything.
A man.
I got you covered.
Ah. Everybody wants to
Mark
know.
England, but Mark England opened the hotel door, my closet door, and he had these amazing clothes just waiting for me. It was like, it was like a kid in a candy store. So Mark England, who's from here, Detroit, who's such a wonderful designer, and he actually got me to do something. I'm like, my cheeks are hurting because he got me to model this evening, which I've never, I've done some modeling, but never quite like that runway. I felt very waiting for Tyra to peek around the corner or something. And once again, I've just met such wonderful people, and he was so wonderful to share his clothes with me. And we talked a little bit about starting a line, which nothing would make me happier. So, I'm going to tell everybody that Mark England said that he was going to start a line for me, and can
They
we
can
hold
look
him
for
to
it.
it?
Yes.
Okay.
We can hold them to
Yes,
it.
so I'm very happy.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's great. We're going to look for the Robin Givens
Mark England, by Mark England.
by Mark England.
That's right.
Fantastic.
You heard it here first. Okay?
Great.
Perfect.